You mentioned that China is playing a more dominant role in global governance, including in the UN, be it with funding, be it with the positions they hold in different organizations. But I'd be curious, where are the areas of cooperation that you can see engaging with your Chinese counterparts? And maybe also behind the scenes to hear a bit more about the relationship you have with the PR here, the Chinese ambassador here in New York.
Well, first, we've been able to work with them on issues related to climate change. And Secretary Kerry has been very proactive in talking with them and getting their agreement on some of the major climate commitments that we've wanted from them. We passed over the course of the month of May, when I was president of Security Council, 3 Security Council resolutions that the Chinese supported and agreed on, and they were actually voted on unanimously. We're now working with the Chinese and the Russians on the Syria renewal, which has to be renewed by July 10th, or the one last border crossing from Turkey into Syria, providing humanitarian assistance to over 1 million people, will close. Last year, we were able to get that resolution extended. I am meeting with both my China and Russia colleagues to talk about how we can move this agenda forward. So we do have areas of cooperation. We're very cordial. We're very professional with each other. It's not a warm and fuzzy relationship, but it's a very professional and respectful relationship. We know each other's red lines. When I cross their red lines, they will tell me I've crossed their red lines. And when they cross ours, I tell them they've crossed our red lines. So we're able to have these frank conversations. And generally, we know where each other will be, how we will respond. So we put forward a resolution on DPRK a few weeks ago. And we were initially hopeful that the Chinese would abstain. They eventually ended up vetoing, along with the Russians. But one interesting change that has happened in the UN system over the past few months is a Legendstein Resolution that we co-sponsored that requires that every member of the Security Council, every permanent member of the Security Council who uses their veto will be called before the General Assembly to explain why they used their veto, and they were called before. And it was not a comfortable situation for them. And I can tell you they were annoyed because they didn't want to be put in a situation of having to veto. Yet we felt that the DPRK had been so aggressive. They tested, 22 times since January, and the council had sat silent. And so my view was even a veto will let them know that the council has spoken. So 13 members of the council supported it and only 2 vetoed. And for me, that said to the DPRK, you do not have the support of 13 members of the council. But we kind of knew in the end where the Chinese were coming from. We have a P5 coordination group. The Chinese are the current sponsors of the coordination group. So we meet as a P5 on a regular basis. The full council also, we do a social event once a month. Because whoever is president of the council will do a lunch or dinner with the Secretary General. And we all participate in those events. And again, when the cameras are not in front of us, we're cordial to each other. Mm-hmm. But if I got a camera in front of me, I'm not going to be seen putting my arms around my Russian colleague or my Chinese colleague or even smiling. And someone, I learned, the Russians said something in the council a couple months ago, and I gave him the side eye. Well, I had never even heard of a side eye. And the cameras caught it. And then it was all over Twitter that I gave this side eye, and I was saying to myself, what's a side eye? And they're like, I'm like, he sits on my right-hand side. He gets the side eye all the time. It's all part of the dynamics of the council, but we all know we have to work with each other.